welcome back. Well, a sea of red on the AFEX commodity market. That's the summary for the week ended 18th of April, with a total turnover and volume down by more than 90% week on week. Well, we have Michael Martins now joining us from our Abuja studio. Michael Martins, portfolio manager at AFEX. Good morning. Thank you for joining us. Let's have a rundown of the market activities for the week.
Hi, Ine. Good morning. It's always a pleasure to be here.
Good to have you.
Just to give you a summary of what happened on the exchange in the week under consideration, the total turnover of all transactions of the exchange fell by more than 92%, from 9.63 billion to close to trading week at 0.68 billion. The total number of contracts also fell by 92.44%, from 34.92 million contracts to close to trading week at just 2.64 million contracts. The number of deals also fell by 50.51%, from 487 deals to close to trading week at 241 deals. The AFEX Commodities Index, which is the ACI, went up slightly by 0.19%, from 485.32 points to close to trading week at 486.23 points. However, we saw a slight decrease in the AFEX Export Index, which fell by 0.17%, from 205.65 points to close the week at 205.30 points. With regards to the volume of contracts traded in the week under consideration, we generally saw a decline, with the biggest changes happening with maize, which fell from 13.16 million contracts to trade just 1.91 million contracts this week, and also soybean, which fell from 2.4 million contracts to trading just over 448,000 contracts. All other commodities also traded less this week in comparison to the previous week, with ginger and sesame trading little to not volume at all. With regards to price changes on the exchange, there was a general increase across board, with cashew nut having the biggest change, going up by 11.8% to close the trading week at 702.38 naira per kilogram. We also have sorghum go up by 9.80% to close the trading week at 249 naira 21 kobo per kilogram. Paddy rice also went up by 5.40% to close the trading week at 249 naira 21 kobo per kilogram. Soybean also went up by 3.90% to close the trading week at over 400 naira. However, we saw slight decreases with cocoa, which fell by 2.75% to close the trading week at just over 1,200 naira per contract. Maize also fell slightly by 1.28% to close the trading week at just over 230 naira per kilogram. So those are largely the price changes and also volume changes that we saw take place on the exchange in the week under consideration. And as we always mention, if you want to know more about the commodities market, you can always go to our website, which is www.afexnigeria.com. Or you can download our app if you want to get started trading commodities, which is available on iOS and also on Android.
All right, Michael, just before we let you go, it's planting season, and then the war in Ukraine is still there with all of the effects. What impact is this having on trading on your exchange?
I mean, not a lot, right? So most of the dynamics that we're seeing playing out with fertilizer prices now, we would not see their effect until the the new harvest season. What we are noting, however, is the fact that the high fertilizer prices, right? Because if you look at it on a global level, I mean, it has been going up week on week, and even in Nigeria currently, the prices are up more than 40, 50, and even 60% in some cases. So we are having higher than normal fertilizer prices, and that's going to significantly affect how much fertilizers the average smallholder farmers can buy in order for them to be able to cultivate, considering that we are actually in planting season. Should that subsist, then we're going to see a significant food shortage at harvest, and that is going to transfer into higher commodity prices across board and also higher finished products. I think it's safe to say that we do need a bit, in the way of a subsidy program to sort of help the average smallholder farmer, be able to purchase as much fertilizer as possible for him to be able to cultivate. Because without that, so let me explain what that means. Fertilizer prices have doubled, but it is not the case that the farmer's income has doubled. So there's a big disparity on that front. And if that disparity is not addressed, then we're going to have a big problem with food shortages and also high commodity prices and final products too.
All right, Michael Martin, thank you so much for that insight. We move on to another conversation now, still with AFEX. AFEX is announcing the 3rd edition of its industry event, Code Cash Crop, which brings together 3 sectors of technology, finance, and agriculture. Code Cash Crop aims to serve as an important hub for conversation on some of the most impactful issues around agriculture and how intersection of the three sectors can impact the most significant problems in the food systems in Nigeria. Well, to have that conversation, we have Yusuf Oguntola. He's the Chief Tech Officer at AFEX, also joining us from Abuja. Hello, Mr. Oguntola. Good morning. Good to have you.
Good morning. Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so AFEX is announcing this third edition of its Code Cash Crop event. What are the expectations from this event?
So the third version of Code Cash Crop, which is happening this year, is going to happen in 3 core stages. Today, almost immediately now, people can immediately go onto our website, africaexchange.com, and start submitting their entries for the program. Our expectation is that people would come in teams. And if you look at what the name of the program is, Code Cash Crop, it is largely bringing together 3 key sectors of the economy that seldom interact. That is technology, finance, and agriculture. So as an organization, one of the things that we've done is to be at the front burner of bringing these 3 key sectors together. Code Cash Crop is giving the opportunity for these 3 key sectors to interact. So we expect that people would form teams largely from these 3 key sectors. So one team would be composed of 3 different people, someone from finance, someone from tech, someone from agriculture, and then we have each of these teams go on and register on our website, and we'll be shortlisting 10 from all of the submissions at the end of the day. And the program would then be happening within 2 core locations, Kano and Ibadan. And then that's when we then move to the next stage of the program. The next stage of the program is the hackathon. The hackathon is where each participant or each team would then be logging heads together, would then be competing and be building the idea that they've submitted in the entry submission stage. At the end of the hackathon, we'll be picking 2 best teams from each of these locations who would then be the ones pitching their idea during the grand finale in Lagos, hopefully on the 1st of June. 2022.
So what are the requirements for participants?
The expectation is that whoever is going to be coming up to participate in Code Cash Crop are experts within these 3 key sectors, right? Because what we intend to achieve is to see how can we use technology to disrupt agricultural trade infrastructure. So we believe that the answer to this question would best be answered by experts from agriculture, finance, and technology. So we need experts from these 3 key sectors to form a team, and they would then be the one proposing ideas that they believe would be the next disruptive idea for the sector, and then be the one building out that idea using the platform that we are going to be providing for them.
So that means, from your explanation, each participant is a group of 3 people at least. Is that what you're saying?
Correct.
Okay,
However, we'll be given the opportunity for individuals to also register on the website. If they already haven't formed a team, we would then be looking at the location they are registering from and their expertise in the field. There's a field for them to fill in their expertise there. We would then be grouping them into teams if they already do not have a team.
Okay, so individuals can, individually can still register for it.
Correct.
Okay,
correct.
Cool. All right, so what are the benefits that AFEX hopes to achieve, and what are the benefits also to participants of the hackathon?
So apart from the fact that the winner of the hackathon would be going home with a cash prize of 2.5 million, and they would also have their details and the idea that they are going to be building publicized across all of our channels, and have the opportunity of building on the sophisticated platforms that AFEX already has. I think it's one very fantastic thing for them to note that they are not just going to be building technology or building ideas for building's sake. They are building something that would impact the lives of smallholder farmers. They are building stuff that would impact the economy of the country. And then at the end of the day, it will then fit into the larger bucket of helping Africa feed itself, which is the core mission of AFEX as an organization.
So apart from Hackathon, how else can tech help to increase financing in agriculture?
If you look at the reason why we've had largely a great deficit in financing in agriculture around the world, one of the key challenges, one of the key factors is because whoever is providing finance, right, want to see where is my money going into. They want to be sure, is there a transparent channel for me to actually monitor the disbursement of this fund, and can I actually see the outputs and be able to confirm that this is what I'm getting, this is what my money is translating into at the end of the day. So when technology comes into the picture, it gives everyone the transparent platform for them to be able to, one, know where they are going to be planting their money into, see how the fund is being used, and then also be able to see the outcome of this fund that they are also disbursing out, which is one terrain that AFEX has always been in. We've built different platforms that makes it easy for investors to be able to invest their money and then see that money grow and then be able to monitor the investment that they have transparently.
So finally, tell us the dates when this event is on, when people can participate, can sign up for it, and when it ends.
Thank you. So, like I mentioned earlier, people can immediately go onto our website now and start submitting their entries. Entry submission would end by the 38th of April, and by the 4th of May, would be announcing the shortlisted teams for the hackathon. The hackathon would be happening week on week in the different locations that I've mentioned between the week of the 9th to 11th of May, and the following week we'll be having a hackathon in Kano and in Ibadan. This information would also be available on our website, and there would also be a Q&A channel for people who have more questions about this information, the hackathon, on our website as well. So all of this, after happening, will then finally lead them to the grand finale, which will then be happening on the 1st of June in Lagos.
Thank you so much, Mr. Yusuf Oguntola, Chief Tech Officer at AFEX, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you for having me
In your program.